Optical illusions are like a visual drug trip. They quite literally trick the mind into seeing something that isn't the reality. Just like the infamous dress that went viral, is it black and blue or white and gold? It turned out to be black and blue, and the brilliant AsapScience on YouTube did an excellent video explaining the reasons behind the illusion. In this list, we'll be showing you 5 amazing optical illusions. We would like to give a big shout out to viewers Omar Hassan, FaHaD BFD, Elite Gamers and Julio Iglesia for suggesting this video. Number 5. Checkered Shadow. On this checkerboard, tile A looks much darker than tile B. However, obviously since this is about optical illusions, you'll probably have guessed they are actually the same color. If I load up the image onto an image editing program and take a sample from both tiles, you'll see that they really are the exact same color. Edward Adelson, a professor of vision science at MIT, created the so-called checkered shadow illusion in 1995 to demonstrate how the human visual system deals with shadows. When attempting to determine the color of a surface, our brain knows that shadows are misleading, and they make the surfaces look much darker than they normally are. We compensate by interpreting shadowy surfaces as being lighter than they technically appear to the eye. Thus, we interpret square B, a light checkerboard tile that is cast in shadow, as being lighter than square A dark checkerboard tile. In reality, the shadow has rendered B just as dark as A. Number 4. Herring Illusion. In this geometrical optical illusion discovered by German physiologist Ewald Hering in 1861, 2 straight and parallel lines look as if they bow outwards. Hering ascribed the effect to our brains, overestimating the angle made at the points of intersection between the radiating lines and the red ones. If I load this image up in an image editing program, create a perfectly straight line and move the line towards the red lines, you'll see that they actually are perfectly straight. However, even the line we just made looks as if it's bending as I move it across the illusion. Researcher Mark Changizi of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in New York believes it has to do with the human tendency to visually predict the near future. Because there's a lag between the time the light hits the retina and the time when the brain perceives that light, Changizi thinks the human visual system has evolved to compensate for the natural delay by generating images of what will occur 1/10 of a second into the future. Number 3. Gradient Illusion. The horizontal bar in the center looks gradated, moving from light to dark grey in the opposite direction as the background. You may have already guessed it, this is just a trick of the mind. If we cover everything but the bar itself, you'll see that it's actually monochrome. The so-called contrast illusion is similar to the checkered shadow illusion. The brain interprets the 2 ends of the bar as being under different illuminations, and deduces what it thinks the bar's true shading would be. It deduces that the left end of the bar is a light grey object in dim lighting, and the right end looks like a darker object that is well lit. Number 2. Illusory Motion. You may have seen an illusion like this one before. It is a static image and nothing is actually moving, yet as you look at it, the patterned discs seem to rotate back and forth. There's no solid explanation for illusory motion. Some visual scientists think it's to do with fixation jitter, involuntary eye movements that give the illusion that objects near what you're fixated on are moving. Others believe that when you glance around the image, motion detectors in your visual cortex get confused by dynamic changes in neurons, and therefore you think you're seeing movements. Number 1. Lilac Chaser. This is one of my favourite illusions. Here there are 12 purple dots arranged around a central black cross. The background is grey, and if you stare at the black cross for at least 30 seconds, the purple dots begin to disappear and a single green dot is the only thing moving around. This visual trickery is called Troxler fading or Troxler's effect, and was discovered by Swiss polymath Ignaz Paul Vittel Troxler in 1804. The effect results from the ability of our visual neurons to switch off their awareness of things that aren't changing and heighten their perception of things that are. In the footage, the lilac dots stay still while the absence of the dots moves, Thus, after a brief figuring out period, the visual system transitions to focusing only on the moving blank dots, which it turns green because of a second illusion at play here, and lets the immobile lilac dots fade. Other human sensory systems behave like this too. If a bug lands on your arm, for example, you can feel it at first, but if it stands still for a few seconds, you lose the physical sensation of its presence. Only when it keeps walking, giving varying stimulation to your tactile neurons, do you keep feeling it. Thank you for watching, and if you have a video idea, why not leave a comment below, and if we make it, we'll give you a big shout out. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more awesome daily lists of all things 5. This is All 5, and until next time, feed your mind.